Sit up tall. And feel those bony parts of the hips underneath you. Press them down into whatever you're sitting on. And then see if the weight will magically just shift half an inch backward. Once you've done that, just takes the edge off emotionally. That sensation that you're not actually going anywhere. In the practice of yoga, we work to come into the seat. The seat of the observer, where we tune into not only the way we use our body, but usually what mostly comes to mind are mental fluctuations. Let's start by focusing on the breath. And drawing your awareness into the low belly, the space specifically below the hips, between the belly button and the floor. You should get distracted as you attempt to focus on the breath. That's natural. It's the human experience to have mental fluctuations. Invite yourself back to an awareness of that inhale, and especially of the exhale. Just a couple more deep breaths here. These bodies we were gifted, they're not designed to sit still. When we come into a comfortable seat, it is a reminder of a nature that is not at home in this earth. As we continue to cultivate an awareness of that nature, of that stillness, we become further removed from those fluctuations in our mind and around us on the outside. And while it cannot eliminate the experience of the body, it can help you to observe it with more compassion, with more patience, with more kindness. I encourage you to cultivate this awareness as often as you can. Taking the next 3 breaths, arrive back in the room. You might begin to use the fingers and the face and the ears and the forehead to wake the body back up. And then we'll move into tabletop position. Make sure you have your blocks toward the front of the mat. We'll take advantage of them this morning. Having a little bit more dynamic warm up. In the tabletop, spread the fingers out nice and wide, tucking the thumbs about a third of the way in, as they say. Pressing down into the hands and the knees on your inhale. Lift your heart. Lift your tail. Lift your chin. Exhale, round through the spine. Tuck the chin. Look at the belly button. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, walk your hands forward and shift your weight toward the right hand. Over to the left hand, we'll circle around toward the left hip and back to the right. Going in these counterclockwise circles, let's take 3 to 5. If you can coordinate the breath with the movement, that's great, but just keep the breath going at the very least. And I want you to pause in the middle at the end of your next exhale. Press your hips back toward the heels, but not all the way down. Stay active through the arms. Push into the fingertips. So like an active child's pose. Looking toward the front of the mat, back of the neck nice and long. And then on your inhale, rebound up to tabletop. Sneak those hands back underneath you. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, rounded spine. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, rounded spine. One more like that, spreading the heart out, lifting through the tail. Exhaling all the way, navel to spine. And then walk the hands forward and come around toward the left hand. Move to the right hand clockwise. I must cue that incorrectly. Circling the other direction, whatever the other direction happens to be. If you can't remember, don't worry too much about it. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Couple more still. And this time, on the front of the inhale, come all the way up onto the knees and find yourself in that modified plank pose. So we'll shift the weight from side to side here, right to left in your modified plank. Again, making it a little bit more active, just toning into the belly without thinking too much about it, giving yourself some distraction. If you want to pick up one knee or one hand at a time, opposite knee and hand, that's kind of hard to do. And then let's pause. Take a big inhale, lengthen the back of the neck, squeeze the belly toward the spine. Exhale, bend the elbows lower to the earth, release the feet. So we'll take 3 cobras. It's an inhale to lift and an exhale to lower. Keep the back of the neck long without craning it toward the sky. Inhale to lift. You're pressing up through the tops of the ears more than the eyeballs. And one more time, inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. I like to use the hands and the knees to push the floor away from myself in a push-up, and then hips back to heels for child's pose. Let's stay active through those arms, though. Press into fingertips or palms. And then inhale up to the tabletop. Find a neutral position again here. And then go ahead and spread the fingers out as we inhale toward the right side of the room, lift the left hip. Exhale, tuck the chin, round along the spine. Inhale toward the left side of the room, lift the right hip. Exhale along that axis. A couple more cat and cow cross body like this, making sure to dig into any particular space that you enjoy on that inhale or exhale. Awesome. And then when you come back into neutral, go ahead and tuck your toes. Send your hips backward toward the heels, but just hover the knees an inch or two off the mat. So you're pressing into sort of like a child's pose, squatting hips to heels, a little bounce there. And let's move from this squat up to a modified or to a crouching plank. Inhale, exhale, hips back to heels. Inhale up to a Hovering tabletop's the correct term there. Exhale, hips back to heels. This is a new thing. Inhale to crouching table. Exhale, hips to heels. And now inhale all the way up and now straighten the legs. Pedal it out, right and left, downward dog. Woohoo! Relax the back of the neck. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Maybe even pick up the fingertips, spreading the weight out and then shifting from right hand to left hand, or from right foot to left foot, or both. Playing with the balance. And remember, if you balance in any way, like, you know, one hand just hovers off for a millisecond, that's all that matters. If we can take a picture in that moment and put it on Instagram, it counts, okay? So we'll play with some more balance today from this whole idea. Let's step the feet up to the front of the mat. While you're there, find your blocks. Look, I left mine behind me. Inhale, halfway lift, grab 2 blocks and press your knuckles into the blocks. You can do palms down if you want, but knuckles actually makes your arms just a little bit longer here. On the tallest setting, and I want you to find cat-cow here. So if you need to wiggle the feet a little wider apart, that's fine. Keep the knees slightly soft. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. One more time. Exhale. And then roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Coming up to the top of the mat, sweep the arms up wide and high. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go from there. Inhale up, wide and high, lengthen up, reach for the sky, soften the knees, exhale, forward, fold. Look at those blocks, grab them with your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, step your right foot back. Option to release the knee and lower the top of the foot to the floor. If you'd like to stay up high in your lunge, you can do so. But pressing into the blocks, pull the heart forward, and then arms can come up overhead for the lunge. Again, these are handy tools to make the transition from a forward fold to a lunge a little bit easier. Not required, but I like to play with the stuff that we have available. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hold. Inhale again, and then exhale, hands come to the blocks or the mat and push back to downward dog and pedal, pedal, pedal. So on down dog, I tend to slide the blocks down to setting number 2 so they're longer. If you're comfortable in down dog and you want to stay here, please do. If you'd like to move forward to plank pose, please do. Plank pose is a fun place to hang out. So I recommend you take a few breaths, shift your weight side to side, and then make your way back to downward facing dog, however you get there. Okay. From down dog, the easiest transition is from the knees. We'll like the right foot to come to the front of the mat, however. You get it there. You can use these 2 blocks to push yourself up to low lunge on this side, or come through to high lunge. You guys are very active out there. Just for the people on the camera, I'm the only one in low lunge. These ladies are killing it back there. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Hands to the blocks or floor, step forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deepen the fold. Reverse swan dive all the way to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go the other direction. Inhale up wide and high. Soften the knees, hinge from the waist. Move the blocks out of the way because you don't need them. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you do. Step the left foot back. High lunge it is. Arms and heart come up overhead. We're on the other side. Again, if you tend to cross over that right foot, Wiggle it a little bit to the right. We're looking to pull that hip forward, squeeze the left thigh and glute up through the crown of the head, through the ears, down through the tail. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale again, and then it's hands to the mat from table or any other way, push back to down dog. If you're comfortable with down dog, you can stay there. If you'd like to go to plank pose, you can move to plank pose. Use your exhale to lower to the earth. And then make your way back to down dog. Couple more deep breaths here, friends. And then from down dog or tabletop, left foot to the front of the mat. High to the right toes. Finding the space in the hips to level-ish. Spread the toes, especially the left ones, out nice and wide as you come up into your crescent lunge, high lunge here. Woo. Inhale again. Exhale, hold. And then we'll need to step all the way up. So inhale. Exhale, launch to the top of the mat. Hands to heart center. All right, shake it out, take a breath. Just for fun, let's balance on one foot. Cool. Shift your weight to the, it's not fun. Maybe it is fun for you. It's like getting your teeth cleaned. You're like, that was great. I feel better after. Shift your weight into your right foot. Let's actually start with the toes on the floor today for this version of tree. I need you to squeeze everything you can. In, inner thigh. So it's up the left side, down the right side, squeeze together. And then if you could push comfortably into that and drag it unwillingly up the inside of the right thigh, do so, but keep the muscular engagement the whole time. Pressing the connection together and feel that left outer hip really do complain because you're working the right or the left inner thigh so much. Awesome. What was that? Never heard that notification before. And release. Woo. Shift your weight over to that left side. Pushing firmly down but spreading out the toes. Turning the toes out and press the heel into the ankle. Remember, you're not lifting the foot up. You're dragging it unwillingly along the inside edge of your left calf muscle. Not really the calf. It's more the, I don't know which one that is, adductor line. Slide it up. And then keep the breath going. You may find that the IT vent, medial glutes, tend to be a little bit more or less cooperative. That's the outside edge of the right hip, and I've lost it while I'm talking. Keep going. And set that foot back down. Shake it out, rights and lefts. Okay. We're going to change it up. Shift the weight to the right foot, bring the left thigh up to parallel. However, grab it with your right hand. Left hand back here to the sacrum. Press into it, flex your left toes, and turn your chin to the side of the room. This is as much twisting as we would like to do. However, you're feeling opportunistic. Send the arms straight out to the side to start. Squeeze the bicep and press the back of the hand away from you like you're opening the door with the back of your hand. Very nice. Now the gaze can follow, but that's usually where the limit is for most of us. Come back into center and set it back down. Shake it out. Okay. Shifting the weight over to the left side, right leg comes up. We grab it this time with the left hand. Right hand to sacrum. We always say, oh, make it so that the hips are level. It's probably not going to be really evenly level, but you can draw the right hip slightly down and the right shoulder slightly back. Turn the gaze to the side. And then maybe you extend that right arm out, squeeze it, and press the door open behind you using the back of your hand. Exhale deeply. And then slowly come back into center. Shake it out. Awesome. Okay. Balance series is done. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up wide. Soften the knees and exhale, hinge forward at the waist. Halfway lift and lengthen. Set the right foot back. This time we're going to spin it down, the heel down, and windmill up to warrior two. Finding yourself in that elongated warrior two position, I want you to pull your heels toward each other and activate the soles of the feet by lifting the toes. Big inhale, big exhale. Left hand up to the sky, but bring it to the back of the head. Right hand down to the sacrum, back of the hand into the low back. Lift up through that left elbow, lean back. Now, without changing anything, keep your arms the way they are. We're actually just going to move the torso. Inhale, exhale toward extended side angle, turning the head and the chin. Let's move that a few times. Inhale up to reverse warrior, bent elbow. Exhale to extended side angle. Head can stay in neutral the whole time. Inhale up. Exhale. One more time. Lift up through that left elbow. Come to your extended side angle and go ahead and let the left elbow press into the thigh. Right hand can now extend to the ceiling. Arms up. Very nice, everybody. Draw the left hip under, lean back slightly. Nice. Okay, bring it back up to the warrior two. And then two hands to the floor. I recommend lowering one knee, coming through table to get to down dog. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Again, you'll notice the option here to move forward if you want. Nice control, nice work. Okay. From down dog or tabletop, the right foot comes to the front of the mat. The left foot spins heel to the floor, windmill up to the warrior two. Again, so it's an active pulling in. Options, you know. You can do the same side twice too. That's fine. All right. Let's bring, what is it? Left hand to sacrum, right hand to the back of the head. And push up through the elbow as you lean back. Take a few breaths here. Finish the next inhale, fill all the way up. And then exhale, right elbow toward the right knee, turn the chin slightly. Inhale up to the sky, active through the toes. Exhale, extended side angle.
Inhale up, squeeze the inner thighs together. Exhale, down. One more time. Lift up through the elbow, and then exhale all the way into this extended side angle. Elbow presses down, left hand releases up to the sky. Push the elbow into the knee. Give it some support there, Carolyn. Yeah. Exhale deeply. Inhale up to warrior two. Inhale again. And then hands forward, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees and then deepen your fold slightly. Actually deepen it more. Wiggle the feet wider apart. Relax the head down toward the floor. So you're shaking your head yes and no and finding yourself upside down here. If your hands aren't comfortable on the floor, your blocks are nearby, use them to rest the hands and see if you can relax just a little bit more. So I promised you some twists and things like that today. I want you just to start very simply by walking your right hand to the outside edge of your left ankle. Give it a pull. Use your bicep to do so. Left hand can come up to the sacrum. And no need to move the head at all, just kind of relax the back of the neck and the ears. Awesome. Let's switch sides. Left hand to the outside edge of that one. Yep. Now release, inhale, halfway lift, grab your two blocks, stand there and hold. Okay, so for some of you, one block will be satisfactory. The palm will press, the right palm will press into the block. Though for some of you, you might want to go double block situation like a T here. Press the palm into your stacked blocks and turn the torso to the left side of the room. You can bend the right knee and straighten the left leg some amount, and the left hand can reach for the sky. And then come back down to the other side, friends, and switch sides. You will straighten the right leg-ish, bend the left knee quite a bit, and look for the sky with the hand first. Don't worry about what the eyes do. Awesome. Okay, now pull it back down to the floor with your two blocks. Move them out of the way. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, reverse swan dive to the sky. Arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So that was only one side of our warrior two set. We're going to finish it out. Inhale, arms up overhead. Soften the knees, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, left foot steps back, find warrior two once again. This time we will bring that left hand down to the sacrum, or it could reach around and look for the thigh. Right hand, keep it up overhead, and then straighten that right leg some amount. Now we're going to move dynamically between this position and just the warrior two legs. So inhale here, exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale here, exhale, bend the right knee. Two more, lift and spread the right toes. Exhale, bend into the knee. One more time. Exhale into the knee and hold. Maybe you lean a little further back. Inhale to the warrior two. I'm going to ask you to hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the floor. Step back to down dog. Tabletop is a lovely place to go. Pedal it out. Consider what's next. Staying in down dog or table. Left foot comes to the front of the mat. Right foot spins out and you end up in warrior two. This time right hand to sacrum or looks for left thigh. Left hand sweeps to the sky, straighten the left leg. Take an inhale, squeeze the whole left leg. Exhale as you bend the knee and resist the bending. Inhale, reach up, press through the heel. Exhale, bend the knee, lift and spread the toes. That's two. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Hold. Maybe extend a little further up through that left armpit. Relax the jaw and the ears. Inhale to the warrior two. Reach out through the arms. Hold for 5. Now, if I told you you had to hold for 104, you would have the same reaction 3. So just pretend this is 67, 2, and then 1, because you know you can do it for as long as I ask you to. Step to the front of the mat. Hands to heart center. Woo. All right, shake it out. So we're going to take our Padangustasana a little bit further. Shift your weight into your left foot, bring this right thigh up to parallel, and maybe reach down and grab that foot. Hands to sacrum is a lovely place to balance. If that doesn't work today, just grab the whole thigh. Now, we'll extend the right arm out to the right. And now from here, extend the leg forward to the front of the room. Nice. Keep breathing, please. I'd recommend turning the chin next rather than moving the arm. So begin to look over your right hand. And then bring the whole thing back into center. Shake it out. You notice at some point I stopped talking and doing because it's just not possible. Nice job, everybody. You're doing great. Shift your weight over to the left leg. Bring the, right leg, left thigh up to parallel. It's harder when there's a camera. I'm feeling pressure, guys. Okay, so reach down, maybe grab that foot, or hold the underside of the thigh, 10 fingers to start. And then you can extend left arm out. Keep a shoulder engagement, so that's drawing the elbow slightly down and in, shoulder into the side. Maybe then you extend the leg in and out. Maybe then you turn the chin. And then there's the option to extend, of course, further, but you want to keep squeezing. Nice, everybody. Come on back in. So that is arguably the hardest of our twisty postures today. But let's make it a little bit more challenging. Find your way down to downward facing dog. As you get there, you can take as much or as little in between if you want to float through handstand. Carolyn, I warned you about that. And in your down dog, take the stance wider apart. And when I say wider, I mean at least the edges of the mat. For most people, could be off the edges of the mat. Bend the knees and just relax the head down there. You recognize this position. We're very similar to our standing forward fold. So indeed, we're going to send the left hand over to the right ankle, trying to connect the two, grabbing from the outside, bending the elbow and pulling. Now, it would seem natural to send all your weight over to your right foot. That's fine. Try to send it back toward the left leg a little bit, lifting that left hip up and back. Carolyn, grab your knee or closer. Yeah, exactly. You can reach the knee. Now, if you've got your twist and Pam's already gone there. If you've got the twist, you know where the option is. The option would be to shift the weight into the left foot and pick up the right foot. I don't know how the physics of this works. I'm still trying to figure it out, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Any way you do it, it counts. I can snap a photo in a millisecond and we'll pretend that it was perfect. Because it was. Okay, come on back down. Come down to table if you need a break in between sides. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but it's something to the effect of you're looking for stability and balance and lift. Obviously, the hand and the foot aren't going to continue to connect here, but there's an idea of being able to go to something from there. Mostly we're just looking for that twist and the proprioceptive confusion of going right with left at the same time. So, all right, if you haven't done the other side, do the other side. That would be right hand to left ankle. Knees deeply bent, feet wider apart is always lovely. Hands can be wider apart too. Yeah, there you go. Awesome, friend. That's it, Pam. Bring the heel. Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. Yes, you found the stability. Yeah, awesome. Come on. Nice, Kathleen. Carolyn does the flip. Nice. I love it. Okay, come on back down. All right. That was it. That was the hard stuff. Flip over onto a seat. Maybe it's harder because there's no music today. That's it. You're stuck with the sound of my voice. Let's do funner twists. Okay, so we're gonna be in a seated position. Let's start with Dandasana staff pose. Best to be nice and warmed up before we do our serious forward folds. So again, long through the spine, long through the back of the neck. Place the palms or the knuckles down. Shoulders roll back until you feel that back engagement. It's not squeezing in so much as it's pressing shoulder blades down toward the tops of the hips and lifting the tops of the hips up toward the shoulder blades so that back here is nice and solid. And then for the purposes of Paschimottanasana, let's put one block in between the knees or thighs. So very easy to simply flop forward, but if you're squeezing the thighs together, it's a lot harder to hang out in the laxity in any hamstring. So squeeze the block in between the thighs. Hands can come up, of course, overhead if you want, and then bring your sternum toward the block. Hands will connect shins, ankles. If you got the feet, keep squeezing the block harder, please. You cannot squeeze it hard enough. And then bring the belly toward the thighs, the crown of the head toward the floor. And then release. Inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale. Okay. Keep the block though and lift it up with the knees. You can wiggle a couple of times until you feel like you have it, and then hover the feet an inch or two off the floor. Rather than just lift them up, let's point and flex the toes. So point, flex. We're working that adductor line today. Point, flex. Point, flex. And then see if you can lift the heels up a couple inches. Hands can be lovely right here on the floor. Heart sternum forward. Still working the adductors and thighs, hip flexors, deep abdominals just as much. And release. Woo. Okay, I know. Bring the right foot in and the left foot out. Do the hokey pokey, that's what it's all about. I don't think the hokey pokey's copyrighted. I can say that online, right? Okay, turn toward the right knee, not the left leg. And grab the right knee with the left hand. Push into your right fingers and twist a little bit toward the back of the room. Okay, hopefully you have a block nearby because I forgot to prep you for it. Grab your block with your right hand and reach it up to the sky. Now, by nature of having a block in your hand here, you can't not use your muscles. So squeeze the block with your fingertips and reach overhead with the block in hand, turning even more toward the right knee with the left hand. Pull with the left hand a little bit more, Lisa. You'll get a better twist. It's not about extension, it's about moving the body. Yeah, awesome. All right, and then bring that block back down, 2 legs back into center. Go ahead and bend the left knee, keep the right foot out. You'll have a block nearby for your left hand. We're turning toward that knee and grabbing it with the right hand. You might feel a lovely amount of twist here. Press down more through that left hip. Right hip. Now grab the block with your left hand. Reach it first to the ceiling. Squeeze it. And then lean your right ear toward your right foot as you reach that block up and overhead. Keep squeezing, 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 pulling with the right hand. Head and neck might begin to turn, though it's not as important that they look up as you squeeze with your arm. Come on, back up. So there's more to that twist. I can flop over like this and connect my hand to my foot, like so. But keeping that muscular engagement to create the extension, I'll never make it, at least not right now. So better to have more engagement and move a little bit less deep than simply connecting the dots. We might be able to Photoshop this into something good, but right now it's not anything. All right, wide-legged forward fold. Might have a block or 2 nearby for the forehead. Squeeze your legs. Lift the heels up if they want to, or pretend that you're going to. Squeeze the calf muscles to do so, and then relax slightly as you pull yourself either forward or press yourself from behind. Either way, you get to that place where you're using your muscles for a comfortable stretch. Comfortable being the operative amount of stretching for any asana, posture, or seat. And then ever so slowly, work yourself back up. Okay, one more in the seated position for now, before we roll down onto our backs. We'll take the most comfortable version of lotus or fire log for you. So let's start with the right shin in front of you. Keep that right foot flexed. If that means your heel's way out here, great. So foot flex, knee, ankle, toes kind of lined up one line. Left foot comes somewhere over here maybe. Now it could come up onto the knee, but you're looking for that position where you can sit up tall. Likely a very large gap here underneath the left knee. You might also need to choose to sit up on a block. And it may be that tucking it all the way up into the hip is more comfortable for you, as well as bringing this heel further underneath. Either way, I want you to push down to create lift. Now just flex your left foot and pull your hips together. can use a block, Karen. Exhale deeply. And then however it works for you to lift that left leg up and out, extend it, circle the ankle a few times. And then find a way to switch the position, recognizing that a lifetime of living and also the gift of your anatomy may cause this side to look dramatically different and feel dramatically different than the other. There's no such thing as a perfectly balanced body or a perfectly balanced breakfast. Just kidding, I don't know. Maybe there's a balanced breakfast. Sit up tall. Squeeze in, press down. We've worked those adductor lines already quite a bit today. They're active and turned on. Squeeze the inner thighs toward each other. Exhale deeply. And then slowly lift up that right foot, let it out. Making your way down onto the back. We'll do a couple backward bends, one inversion, and we'll call it good. Relax all the way down. And take a few deep breaths right there. Big inhales, big exhales. Now my recommendation here is to do a bridge pose. I'm going to give you two options. You can do two active bridge poses, or you can do one slightly active bridge pose with a block underneath your sacrum. Either way, the setup will be the same. If you'd like the block option, just make sure there's one nearby. So pressing firmly into your feet. Begin to lift the hips up and scoop the tailbone toward the knees. When you get up there, relax the jaw. Squeeze the shoulders slightly together. Press through the heels. Point the hips up a little bit more and hold this pose. Now, if you'd like to take the bridge option with the block, find block and put it on setting number 2 or setting number 3 directly underneath the tailbone, and then readjust the feet to find a flat position where you could push into the tailbone and into the feet. If you're doing two active bridge poses, now would be a good time to use your exhale breath to roll all the way back down to the floor. If you're staying up in a supported bridge with block, continue to breathe deep and release the front side of the body. For those active bridge members, if you would like to do your second round with a wider or different stance, by all means. If you're feeling like an upward facing wheel pose, that's also an option. Do so with your breath in a way that supports your intention. Heels out, toes in, elbows together slightly. Press the sternum toward the back of the room and squeeze the glutes. For those of you in your second backward bend, tuck the chin, roll all the way back down to the earth. I recommend hugging the knees into the chest, and if you're up on a block, remove the block and come on back down. Now, the simplest inversion is, of course, to just stay like this with knees to chest, grabbing outside edges of the knees, backs of the thighs, or relaxing the face and the jaw. If you'd like to take something further, like a legs up the wall, there might be a block handy where you could lift up the hips and slide the block underneath the edge of the sacrum, finding that balance point where the feet hit up toward the sky. If you like legs up the wall as your final resting pose and want to move into it now, that's a good idea as well. Once you've found yourself in your inversion, which includes lying on your back with your knees bent, take some time to settle back into that breath space that we started. And now it might be that your hips are above your heart slightly, but see if you can tune your direction and your intention of your breath into that space between the belly button and the floor. And when you're ready to make your way into a final resting pose, if you're not there already, please do so. Final resting pose, or Shavasana, is that opportunity to reconnect. Reconnect with that space, the one we started class with. That part of you that is not at home in this world. That believes more than anything in stillness. As you sink into that space, let your breath take over. Allow your mental fluctuations to be quiet. For those of you watching at home, I'm going to turn off the live stream now. Thank you so much.